Welcome to our Meet the Experts Emmy-nominated TV production designers panel. I'm here with Sam Lisenco from The Bear, Jessica Kender from Daisy Jones and The Six, Judy Rhee from Poker Face, Mark Scruton from Wednesday, and Shayne Fox from What We Do in the Shadows. Now, first off, congratulations to all of you on your nominations. As we're recording this, the industry is very uncertain at the moment, but in general, when it comes to like receiving recognition from your peers, is that something you feel opens doors, or that you hope will open doors, to even more opportunities to come? Knock on wood when those opportunities come back. Let's start with Sam.
I hope. I think that especially with creative craft, the right next choices for your life will present themselves, and as long as you're confident in the kinds of choices you're making along the way, those will reveal themselves to be new opportunities. So if nothing else, it's great to get a chance to re-solidify my connection to an industry, because sometimes I think, especially as designer, I don't know about everybody else, but I feel sort of removed. Like, designers don't hang out with other designers to a certain extent. So like, it's just nice to know that there's other people who are also in their little boats out there doing the same sort of thing,
Judy?
Well, first of all, I think it's such an honor to be included and to be nominated. But in terms of it leading to other work, yes, as Sam said, that would be great. I don't know that that is necessarily how it'll play out, but it is nice to meet other designers, as Sam also mentioned. And hopefully it will widen the scope of who recognizes you and your name and your work. So yeah, it's all good to sort of bring it all forward to other people that maybe you may not have met or have encountered.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, being recognized by your peers and, having a show be popular with the fans, that's also really great, that everybody's work gets celebrated when one of us get accolades. I find, it's just a testament to every single person who works on the show, because it takes so many people. It's not just, us as the heads of the art department. It's great for everybody, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. What you were saying about everybody, it's a group award in the end, isn't it? I'm sitting here, but in the end, the show was a huge reflection on, probably 200 people that worked on it. And I think I was always twitchy about getting nominated for these sort of awards, because the pressure suddenly becomes huge on you as a person. I sort of dipped my toe in the award season a few years ago, and it was quite a high pressure thing, and you're always quite nervous about that. But I think the rewards it gives to the crew, and certainly the crew on this show, who worked incredibly hard and weren't well-known crew, I think is immense. And actually, when I speak to them now, they're all so proud of the fact that we've got this far with the show, and the reception it's had it makes it actually a very valid thing. It's a great thing to be part of.
Well, I mean, I think obviously, like, you hope it gets you the even better, bigger job, which when you get a job and you're nominated like this, you're like, how can it get better? But I feel like we all do this because we want people to see our work, and getting nominated, number one, says it's very likely a lot of people are seeing your work. I am in TV because I always loved that, like, my grandma who couldn't drive could just turn on and see my work. And this lets you know that people are out there enjoying the thing that you love. And that's super exciting.
And thinking about your careers and the work you would love to do moving forward, like, is there like a dream project that you'd love to work on that, if you could wave a magic wand and make it happen, whether it's a genre or a time period or something like that? Is there a world that you would like to inhabit? We can start with Shayne.
Good question. I think, yeah, there's dream projects, but I'm just waiting for the phone call and to be whisked away to like Prague or something and do some really cool medieval or just some period piece, and get to go to like old cemeteries, and I don't know. I'm waiting for that phone call. That would be the dream. There's different levels. Sometimes I just want to do the big budget period pieces, and then sometimes I think about pushing myself to do stuff that I've never really touched upon. I don't know, but yeah, Prague. I want to go to Prague. If I say it, will that help manifest it? Anybody listening?
Well, we hopefully have people in the industry watching this. So keep your your phone on, and you might get that call.
Awesome.
Jessica, how about you?
Well, I gotta say, I would love like a Westworld. I love me some sci-fi. I've already now I can check off the 70s, which were on my bucket list before, but some sci-fi giant thing where I get to create the future. And I would also say anything written by Liz Tigelaar or produced by Lauren Neustatler, I'm in. But if they did a Westworld, that would be my dream job right there. Tie it up in a bow. I can die happy.
Mark?
That's a really hard question, isn't it? I think, there's so many genres I think I wanted to work in now, which I think I've either experienced or I've already done, and it's a tricky one. I do like the spinning wheel of sort of destiny, where you never know what's going to come at you next, and that element I think is the best part of what we do, that you never know what you're going to get given, and you've suddenly got to learn a whole new world or a whole new element of history that you had no idea about. But I think if you press me on what my dream project, I think anything involving David Lynch would be hugely on my bucket list. Whatever it was, whatever he was making, whether it's period, science fiction, anything. But yeah, I think the unknown is normally the best thing for me, to be honest.
Judy?
Yeah, I think for me, it's more about the people that I work with. So, there's a handful of directors and producers I would love to work with again and continue to. I think the rapport that you create on certain projects and the success of the show or the film ends up being the relationship that you have with the directors or the writers or the showrunners. And then secondly, for me, it's about the script. If I connect to the script, it doesn't matter what the genre is or the character or whatever the setting happens to be. I tend to do my better work or my best work, but I do have to connect to the script. So it's less about genre for me than the quality of the writing and the people that I work with. Those are at the top of my list.
I was just gonna say I'm prepping a Westworld style medieval sci-fi epic improv right now, so
Rude,
I'm good.
rude.
No, for me, it's the process of learning is the most exciting thing. To me, it's much more exciting than actually making stuff. And so as long as there's variance, I couldn't predict what the dream job would be, because it's going to be so different than anything I've done previously. This week it's English tapestry. Next week it's the history of telephones in Mexico. Whatever it winds up being, for me, it is the enticing part of it. So I think it's the variance and the potential for myself to grow.
Yeah, that's the best thing with all these jobs, isn't it? It's finding out, learning something you didn't know about 2 minutes before the phone went. I spent all summer learning about the Peasants' Revolt, and the film didn't happen, but I had a great summer learning about it.
Exactly. But James Bond. We all want James Bond. That would be great.
We had to say it out loud, but yeah.
Being in production design, I'm wondering if there are other fields of the industry, like if you hadn't gotten into production design or art departments, like what area in film and TV and production would you have been interested in were it not for this one, if there is one? Judy, how about you?
Well, I guess if I had to pick, it would be writing, because that's where it all starts. And the idea that you can create something from nothing and dictate the character's trajectory or the setting that it happens to be in, all those things I think are very interesting and exciting. So I think that's where it would be.
Sam?
Craft service, most likely. No, my path to design was always one of the movie's getting bigger, and me and my friends having a little more creative ability with each one. So on the very early end, production design and producing is the same thing, because it's like, oh, we need this tomorrow location, or we need to fabricate this prop, or pick up the actors from school, whatever it winds up being. So I think that the skill set would probably align itself for me to deal with some element of production, because I think the wiring is similar. I don't think I would enjoy it nearly as much though.
Jessica?
Okay, this might be the cheesy answer, but I can't imagine doing anything else. I went to school at a conservatory where I only learned set design. So literally these are my only skills. So you send me out there and tell me I can't do this, I would be lost. Like, this is exactly what I had hoped to be doing, and it's exactly what I hope to continue until I retire, and then, you know, just road trip the world.
Mark?
It's interesting. I think Sam's probably right that the closest thing akin to designing is actually producing, which is a strange thing because there seem to be the two sort of most opposed views. I mean, you know, originally I wanted to direct, but I think the directing position is, unless you're on a tour these days, it's a very different animal to what I thought it was when I went to film school. So I think producing is probably the most akin to what we do, but I couldn't be anything other than design, to be honest. I think I'd get so frustrated not being able to create stuff and build stuff and be in charge of that element. I think in the end it would have to be designing all the time.
And Shayne?
I think, yeah, I agree with that. Production design is akin to producing, except in producing, there's too many spreadsheets and budget meetings with accountants, and that doesn't appeal to me at all. I think I would probably go back to my roots a bit. I mean, when I started in film when I was 17, I was building foam and fleece puppets, like with people who work with Jim Henson, and went into prop building. And then I was the breakaway glass girl for a while, and like very hands-on. That's me, that's my approach. So I'd probably go back to that world and build things, you know, just go back to the world where there's glues everywhere and staple guns and, like, you know, crazy shops, and you get the request for the bonkers 12-foot high pumpkin and you just try and figure out how to make it. And, you know, that's sort of my approach to production design anyway. I'm very crafty and makey, and so I'd probably go back to that, because I think anything else would be too, like I say, spreadsheets and meetings with accountants, which is like soul sucking, right? So that would be it for me.
Well, I want to congratulate you all again on your work on your respective projects, how different they are, and but of course how similar they are, and all being nominated for an Emmy this year. So thank you so much for talking to me about it. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.